The last in our row is what I would call, whom I would call, so the Mr. Energy of Japan. So please go ahead. I mean, it is, of course, in the context of the Fukushima accident, something that a tremendous challenge is being put in place of the Japanese society to, in a sense, at least do not go ahead with expansion of nuclear energy, at the same time fuel one of the most powerful industries in the world and one of the biggest export nations in the world. So we are really keen to learn about your answer to that.
Well, thank you, John. But first of all, congratulations to the 40th anniversary of IIASA. I feel honored to be given a chance to talk on this occasion. And I will talk about the energy transformation in Japan after Fukushima accident. But before my talk concerning the great East Japan earthquake and subsequent Fukushima nuclear accident, I'd like to express my deep gratitude for great support and assistance from various international communities. So thanks to these supports, the suffered area are now being recovering. Okay, well, the Fukushima nuclear accident caused a significant impact on energy policy in Japan. The government of Japan started a fundamental reconstruction of so-called strategic energy plan. The basic target of energy policy in Japan often stated as 3 E's plus S, where S stands for safety, and 3 E's stands for energy security, economic efficiency, and environmental protection. But in Japan, climate change issue represents environmental protection. And 3 E's remain unchanged as before, while S is particularly emphasized after the accident, in a sense that nuclear power cannot be accepted without the public trust on its safety. So public trust on nuclear safety is a real issue. But it's very difficult, particularly after Fukushima. It's very difficult for a society to deal with nuclear risk, such as the risk associated with low radiation exposure, where the science is uncertain. So the nuclear power supported all 3 E's as a semi-domestic resources for energy security and a low-cost and promising export item for economic efficiency, and carbon-free energy for climate change. An inevitable decrease in the dependence of nuclear power causes many difficulties. Among them, most difficult part is the reconstruction of climate change policy. In the current strategic energy plan, which was decided in 2010, the target of zero-emission power, so namely carbon-free electricity, in 2030 was set 70% of the total electricity supply, and of which 50% was expected from nuclear, and the remaining 20% by renewables. But the 50% of nuclear share in 2030 is absolutely impossible after Fukushima. Then, with which level we can rely on nuclear power in 2030, and how to fill the gap? The government showed 3 options: 0, 15%, and 20 to 25% of nuclear share in 2030. And then we did a national debate during this last July and the early part of August. While there are several different public opinion polls, most results indicate that the majority of the people support 0 nuclear option. So on the basis of this national debate, current administration decided on September 14th, Innovative Strategy for Energy and the Environment, which is a political statement guiding energy policy and global warming countermeasures in Japan. The Innovative Strategy for Energy and the Environment is not a clear message. It states that while utilizing nuclear power reactors, the safety of which is confirmed as an important source of electricity, and the strategy aims at utilizing all policy measures, including maximization of green energy development, so that the operation of nuclear power reactors will be possible in the 2030s. And for those who would like to choose zero nuclear policy, it seems that strategy commits zero operation of nuclear power in the 2030s. On the other hand, for those who like to maintain nuclear option, the strategy seems to commit only utilizing all policy resources, along with utilizing nuclear reactor as an important power source as far as its safety is confirmed. Actually, in the text of the cabinet decision that was done on September 19th, the strategy itself was not adopted, but mentioned as taking into account the strategy. And rather, the cabinet decision emphasized the point of constantly reviewing policies with flexibility. So the new strategic energy plan in Japan after Fukushima is not yet decided. They say the decision of a new energy plan may be postponed to the next year. But it is clear the nuclear dependence of Japan will decrease, while its degree is uncertain. So then the question remains how to fill the gap of the reduction of nuclear dependence. And from now, I like to say my personal views. Okay, first, keep nuclear options. Of course, enforced safety measures are prerequisite. I'd like to emphasize the importance of the risk communication of low-level radiation exposure and severe accident. And secondly, further energy savings. The importance of behavioral change using ICT was highlighted through the experience in the power shortage after Fukushima. Of course, further energy efficiency improvement is also important. And thirdly, maximum introduction of new renewables. Feed-in tariff was introduced in Japan this last July, and this should be fully utilized. And the opportunity of restoration should be utilized to deploy renewable energy, such as using biomass in debris or photovoltaic system installations on damaged land. And I'd like to emphasize the importance of using smart grid to maintain power stability to accept a large-scale introduction of photovoltaics and wind power. And then clean use of fossil power, I mean natural gas and clean coal technology such as advanced USC or IGCC and CCS. Okay, Japan has advanced technologies in this field, and it should be disseminated globally through international cooperative schemes such as the bilateral offset credit mechanism. And last but not least, I'd like to point out the importance of resilience of energy system. Along with strengthening basic energy networks such as power grid, gas pipeline, and liquid fuel supply chain, we should establish a decentralized energy system with ICT to secure local autonomous energy supply in the time of emergency. And it's very last. I'd like to say, public opinion in Japan is now diversified, but the importance of mobilized demand-side resources is commonly recognized. I think this is the right direction. Thank you for your attention.